your girl, Mrs. Tony Two Times, and I'm back with another episode of Hood Tales. In this video, let's take it to New Orleans, Louisiana, to discuss a Labor Day weekend brawl that ended with a mother of four losing her life. But before we get into this video, I'd like to say thank you to all of our supporters. We appreciate you and hope you stick around. If you'd like to support the channel monetarily, you can find the information on the screen. And to support us for absolutely no cost, please hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already and join the Tony Two Times family. Tap that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads. Also, if you'd like to see more episodes of Hood Tales, please click the link to the description box after this video to get caught up. And be sure to share this video with everyone you know. Stay tuned until the end to hear all the details. Everything in this video is alleged. Alright, let's get into it. Raven Marie Francis was born on October 13, 1994. She was born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana. Raven enjoyed spending time with her family and friends and was very close to her three sisters. Raven also had a brother. Raven became a young mother, but that didn't stop her from reaching her goals and providing for her four children, ages 10 to 6 months old. Raven loved to travel and take her children on vacations. She was very into fashion. Many would consider her a fashionista and the ultimate diva. She lived a lavish lifestyle and made sure her children were offered that same treatment. As a New Orleans native, Raven loved bounce music and hanging out with her sisters. Her sister described her as the lit one. After giving birth to her youngest child earlier this year, 29-year-old Raven had settled down a bit and had started a new job as a security officer. She had also bought a new truck. Her work schedule and raising her children occupied most of her time. On the night of Saturday, August 31st, 2024, Raven had just completed her shift and was ready to take it in for the night. A friend had a birthday celebration at the local bar Shamrock, and Raven was hesitant about going. She didn't really feel like going out or drinking, but wanted to support her friend and also hang out with her sisters, who would also be in attendance. So after much consideration, she decided to go. As the early morning hours of September 1st crept in, tensions began to escalate between the group of women Raven was with and another group of women. At around 1:56 a.m., surveillance captured an all-out, knockdown, drag-out brawl with fists in the parking lot of the Shamrock in the 4100 block of South Carrollton Avenue. A fight erupted amongst the group that Raven was with and the other group of women. Cell phone video shows the altercation between the two groups of women and the crowd surrounding them. 2 minutes into the fight, a woman from the opposing side, later identified as 24-year-old Shante Mark, is seen allegedly leaving the brawl, going to the other end of the parking lot, retrieving a gun, and running back to the fight. According to witnesses, Shante then attacks another woman, hitting her with the weapon up to 5 times on the head and shoulder. The brawl lasted until 2:02 a.m. before the crowd began dispersing. Raven had not exchanged any words with the opposing side, but was there to support her sisters and friend. After the fight, they remained in the parking lot for about 30 minutes, looking for a cell phone that got lost in the chaos. In the meantime, They had no idea that the incident was far from over. Payback was around the corner. Surveillance footage captured Shante Mark allegedly driving in circles around the parking lot of the Shamrock in her white Nissan Altima alongside a black SUV. Witnesses say she allegedly called to the scene. Inside the SUV were two men. Investigators believe that Shante and the men in the SUV were lying in wait for the other group of women to leave. After driving around for 15 minutes, Shante in her white Altima and the men in the SUV allegedly parked the vehicles in the 4200 block of Eulawa Street, idling as they continued to wait. At some point, evidence shows Shante allegedly getting out of her car and getting inside the black SUV. Still not knowing what was waiting for them, Raven, her sisters, and friend drove to take a loved one to their car just down the street from the bar. As Raven and her sisters were leaving the area, Shante and the two men in the SUV allegedly began to follow them. Raven was driving as shots began to ring out, striking the car they were in. Her sister said she told Raven to go, go. As they were trying to escape the gunfire, Raven was struck in her head and one of her sisters was grazed in the arm. Their vehicle lost control and crashed into a fire hydrant on the corner of Bowden Street and South Solomon Street. Two of the other women in the car, who were Raven's sisters, were injured in the crash. Bystanders in the Mid-City neighborhood tried to assist them as help arrived. At around 2:45 a.m., New Orleans PD and paramedics arrived at the scene to assess the damage. Raven and her sisters had flipped after their car was riddled with bullets and then slamming into the hydrant. Raven was rushed to a nearby hospital to be treated for her injuries. The others were also taken to be treated, and they survived. Raven, however, succumbed to her injuries later that morning. The mother of four had lost her life. Raven's family and friends were, of course, devastated by this tragedy. Her mother wanted people to know that Raven was not involved in the fight and had gotten caught up and lost her life over someone else's problem. A vigil was held in Raven's memory. Her 10-year-old son spoke and said how funny and kind his mother was and how she would do anything for him and his siblings. Her fiancé also spoke to a news outlet expressing how wonderful of a woman and mother Raven was and that he had lost his best friend. The evidence discovered during the investigation in the shooting led investigators to believe that Shante Mark was the shooter. She was arrested days later at a hotel in Chalmette in St. Bernard's Parish on September 4th, 2024, where police believe she was hiding out. She was charged with second-degree hit and was later rebooked on an additional aggravated battery charge. Shante's bail was set at $1 million. Shante is also a mother of 4 children from the ages of 3 to 7. According to her attorney, she was a patient care specialist at a local hospital. On Shante's Facebook, it states that she is a certified medical assistant. This incident is not the first time Shante had been accused of participating in taking someone's life. In March of 2023, Shante's ex-boyfriend, 19-year-old Deron Mueller's life was taken. In May 2023, she was arrested and charged with his slaying. Another man was also suspected. In Duran's case, surveillance allegedly showed Shante near where Duran was slain. Video allegedly showed them getting into the same vehicle at some point before he lost his life. Despite the surveillance evidence, there was insufficient evidence to show she participated in any way. The investigation had no eyewitnesses, no physical or forensic evidence, nor were they able to determine the exact time Duran was slain. The charges against Shante were ultimately dropped in Duran's case. A trial date for Shante has not been set for Raven's case. Additional arrests were made in connection to the shooting that took Raven's life. 2 teens were arrested weeks later. On September 17th, Jefferson Parish Sheriff's deputies and Louisiana State Police arrested 18-year-old Jamar Gliz Walsh. Then on September 26th, 19-year-old Devon Davis was located in Baton Rouge and taken into custody by U.S. Marshals and NOPD's Violent Offender Warrant Squad. Both Jamar and Devon face second-degree hit charges, in addition to aggravated assault charges stemming from a September 12th shooting where no one was hurt. I'm assuming based on the charges that these are the 2 men that were allegedly in the black SUV with Shante at the time of the alleged incident that claimed Raven's life. Shante Mark, Jamar Walsh, and Devon Davis are all innocent until proven guilty. May Raven Francis rest in peace. My deepest condolences to her family and loved ones. My well wishes go out to them during this trying time. Raven lost her life over senseless drama. If Raven had only followed her initial gut feeling and not gone out that night, maybe it would have been a different outcome. However, I get it. She was just being supportive of a friend and maybe just wanted a night out to unwind. She had no idea that things could have possibly escalated to such a tragic outcome, leaving her 4 children behind. May her soul rest in peace. Shante seemed to have life going well for her also. How did she allegedly allow herself to escalate to the point of such brutality? She was a young mother of 4 herself. Did she not think of the consequences of her actions? Probably not if she is found to be responsible. Hopefully, there is some resolution to Raven's case. It could take a long time for any of the defendants to actually go to trial because of how backed up the homicide cases are in New Orleans. Sadly, this will just go down as another statistic when everyone involved was so much more than that, especially Raven. Fam, tell me your thoughts on this tragic story. Let me know in the comments below. Alright fam, that's it for this episode of Hood Tales. Thank you all so much for watching and making it to the end. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is your girl, Mrs. Tony 2 Times. Until next time.